What is a waistband sewing machine? How does it work? What attachments do you need? Follow me. This is my waistband sewing machine. I have two actually. There's another one outside. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's waiting for me to um, work on it. I tested it already, but we're not gonna cover that one right now. That's a Singer. This is a Union Special. Um, I had given up on this machine because at the beginning when I started to test the waistbands, it broke. But the problem was the stitching was tiny. So the stitching, when the stitching is tiny, it's kind of it doesn't advance as much. Although it has a puller on the back. So by the way, when you increase the stitching, you have to also adjust the puller. So right now I'm not going to use the puller because the fabric is so strong that it's I'm just going to let the fabric, I mean the teeth, in pull it instead of using the puller. um so I was having some issues with the machine. I was about to sell it because I thought it was not going to handle it, but yesterday I did test and it worked. But basically, what we did, we increased. That's what I wanted to say. I got distracted. Um, so basically, what we did first, we increased. I called the mechanic and he increased the stitching. He didn't believe it was going to kind of work, but so we tested it on flat piece of fabric and it worked. But the real test comes when I also tested on a piece of fabric too, and it worked. So, but the real test comes when you actually add on the garment, and that's what I did yesterday, and it worked. So, right now I'm gonna cut the waistbands, and I'm gonna start adding the waistband, which is different um, video. But what I want to cover is that this machine has up to six threads, right? Actually four, and four, that's eight. But the stand, it's only up to six. So you can add multiple um, needles to this machine, because actually this machine is not a waistband machine. This machine, it's a multi-needle sewing machine, and a lot of people would use it for a waistband with elastic. So as you can see, I'm gonna grab something so I can show you guys. So I have the first needle on the right hand side. Here I guess I have another one. Yeah, I think I have for another needle, because if you see the plate, let me just turn on the light. If you see, there's another hole here, and that is for another needle. And then, so right now, this foot, it only allows us to use four. You can't add more needles on the middle, because there's four tensioners on the top and four on the bottom. That is two needles and two bottom, and two needles and two bottom. That's it. So that's actually max this machine can do. A lot of times other machines have more needles, like a quarter inch apart from each other. So I guess we can do one, two, three more here, but this is not the case. Okay, so this machine, it's basically a multi-needle but a heavy duty sewing machine, so you can use it for waistbands. So basically what I want to cover is that when you want to use this machine for to set waistbands, um you need to add a folder. This is called like an attachment, and this is a one piece waistband. I also have two-piece waistband here, so one piece on the top and one on the bottom. I have this one too. um and the piece that you going to cut for one piece, in this case it's a 4 inches waistband. So I'm going to show you guys right now. I basically traced it already, so I just need to cut it. um I was working on this last night before I would start a new day. It would be just ready to start. I got some cones on the back, but let's not talk about that. I get distracted very easily because I'm excited to share with you guys what I got last time from a guy who's moving out of state. But anyway, so this is the waistband folder, one piece, and basically I attach the hair. I need to tighten a bit, and if you see, I marked already because this is exactly where the folder needs to be set. So now, since I'm dealing with a very heavy duty um, uh, material, I need to make sure that it's super tight. Otherwise, it would be okay, but um, you still need to make it tight. So I believe I'm missing a plate here. That's why you see that opening. But I'm happy because now I have two waistband sewing machines. I never thought I would have two. I didn't even have one. I had this. Well, I had this for so long, but it was abandoned. I wasn't really using it because I was doing one or two waistbands and so on. So now this is a good time to start using it. I'm gonna try to see if I can sew a waistband before you guys before I let you guys go, before we run out of time. But this is the waistband sewing machine. If you want to see the model, it's here. Not sure if you guys can see it, but it needs to have some oil. I'm gonna add more oil, and I was so happy that it actually worked yesterday. And the other thing I did too, I added size 22 needles. It says 26. Anyhow, that's another thing I did. I changed the needle. I increased this stitching uh, to this, and then so when I start sewing the waistband, it just did it nice. This is the waistband I did yesterday, and the advantage of using a waistband sewing machine is that the underneath stitch, it's a chain stitch, so it's beautiful. This is a professional made grade waistband. I still need to finish it here. That's normally how it looks like when you're done with the waistband. And then on the inside, look how beautiful it looks like. So basically these folders come like that. So you remove them from here. This is an extension. You don't remove this, you remove this, and then you add a new one. Like in this case, this would go like that. But in this case, it's this one piece. This is a two piece. I believe I'm gonna have to do a part two for this video, since I'm not gonna be able to fit in everything I need to say about the machine. So stay tuned. It's important to say that if you want to finish your waistband at this size, this is a 1.5 inch wide waistband. That's the width, right, of the waistband. If you want to finish it at 1.5 inches, like in this case, you must cut the fabric at 4 inches wide. That way you allow 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. But if you want to cut two pieces waistband, then you still need to add 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. So if it's 1.5 inch finish width, then you add an inch more to the width. So you're gonna cut it at 2.5 because it's two pieces, and you want to finish it at 1.5 wide, right? So this is a straight cut waistband. There's cross cut waistband. There's contour waistband. So I'm using this cutter, fabric cutter. So disc, because it's like a disc, right? So going to go right in. I love how this machine cuts because it cuts so straight. See? The next thing you need to do is to cut this, like the corners, just make it like an arrow so it can go through the folder. Then you put it through here. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Since this fabric is super thick, so I'm having a little bit of a struggle to put it through. See? But you see how it's moving? You can move the folder, of course, and you see how it's showing out already. Then you press the pedal. Once you press the pedal, the foot lifts up, and then you can just push this through. And now you kind of press it. So make sure the needles are catching each edge of the waistband. Now ready to have fun.